You're eating your way to night terrors and you have no idea. Right now, as you watch this video, more than 936 million people around the world are suffering from obstructive sleep apnea, a condition that literally stops breathing during sleep dozens or even hundreds of times a night. But here's what will shock you. The vast majority of these people are unknowingly consuming 3 specific types of foods that are turning their airways into veritable nocturnal traps. Imagine waking up every morning feeling like a truck has run over you, with a throbbing head, an aching body, and a mental fog that never seems to lift. Now imagine discovering that all of this could be avoided simply by eliminating 3 categories of foods from your diet. I'm talking about foods that 99% of people consume daily thinking they're harmless, but which are actually causing chronic inflammation, airway obstruction, and turning your sleep into a battlefield where your body desperately fights for oxygen with every breath. Sleep apnea isn't just about loud snoring or feeling tired the next day. It's a condition that increases your risk of heart attack by 30%, stroke by 60%, diabetes by 300%, and traffic accidents by 700%. Your brain is repeatedly deprived of oxygen throughout the night, creating micro-injuries that accelerate cognitive aging and can lead to early dementia. And all of this could be caused by the foods you believe are part of a normal, healthy diet. Have you ever wondered why you sleep better some nights than others, even though you maintain the same schedule? Why do I sometimes wake up with a throat as dry as sandpaper and other times not? The answer may literally be on your dinner plate. These 3 foods I'm going to reveal today not only worsen existing sleep apnea, they can be the triggers that are creating the condition in the first place. Imagine a person who spent years going from doctor to doctor, undergoing expensive tests, trying different medications for chronic fatigue, until discovering that simply stopping these specific foods could completely transform their nights. In just 2 weeks, they went from waking up suffocating 40 times a night to sleeping soundly for the first time in a decade. This is no exaggeration. It's the reality for millions of people who have yet to discover this vital connection between diet and sleep quality. If you've made it this far, you probably already suspect something is wrong with your sleep. Maybe you wake up more tired than when you went to bed. Maybe your partner complains about your snoring. Or worse, yet you've noticed that you stop breathing during the night. I want you to know that every minute you spend without properly treating sleep apnea is another minute of damage to your heart, brain, and immune system. But I also want you to have hope, because by the end of this video, you'll have information in your hands that could literally save your life and transform your nightmarish nights into truly restful rest. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because I'm here to share information that can change your life forever. I know that living with sleep problems can feel lonely and frustrating, where you feel misunderstood and hopeless. That's exactly why I dedicate my time creating content like this, to help you understand that you're not alone in this battle and that there are real, accessible solutions. By becoming part of our community, you'll have access to the most up-to-date information on sleep health, scientific discoveries that haven't yet reached traditional practices, and most importantly, you'll be part of a group of people who share the same challenges and victories. Each new subscription helps us reach more people who may be suffering in silence, unaware that the solution to their sleep problems may be closer than they think. You deserve peaceful nights. You deserve to wake up refreshed. And above all, you deserve to understand what's really happening with your body. Let's unravel these mysteries together and reclaim your right to restful sleep. The first food that's devastatingly sabotaging your sleep is ultra-processed foods rich in refined sugars and chemical additives. When I talk about ultra-processed foods, I'm not just referring to the obvious ones like soda and candy, but also those disguised as healthy foods like breakfast cereals, protein bars, flavored yogurts, packaged breads, ready-made sauces, processed meats, and even some products marketed as light or diet. These foods create an inflammatory cascade in your body that has direct consequences for your upper airways. Refined sugar, when consumed regularly, especially around bedtime, causes dramatic spikes in blood sugar, followed by sudden drops that completely disrupt your sleep hormones, particularly melatonin and cortisol. The science behind this is both fascinating and frightening. When you consume refined sugar, your body must produce large amounts of insulin to process that glucose. This excessive insulin production triggers a systemic inflammatory response that directly affects the soft tissues of your throat, tongue, and palate. These tissues swell, reducing the space available for air to pass through during sleep. It's as if you're voluntarily narrowing your own airway every time you consume these foods. Furthermore, the chemical additives present in ultra-processed foods, such as preservatives, artificial colors and flavor enhancers, act as toxins that your liver must process, overnight overloading your detoxification systems just when your body should be in recovery mode. Imagine a person who ate sugary cereals for breakfast every day, processed snacks throughout the day, and finished her meals with processed desserts. She suffered from intense snoring and woke up multiple times during the night without knowing why. Her medical tests showed nothing conclusive, but she felt constantly exhausted and began to develop memory and concentration problems. When she finally eliminated all ultra-processed foods from her diet, replacing them with natural whole-grain options, in less than 10 days, she noticed a dramatic reduction in her snoring. Within 3 weeks, for the first time in years, she was able to sleep through the night without interruption. She said it was like rediscovering what sleep truly meant, as if she had regained a part of herself she had long lost. The second culprit of your sleep is dairy, especially when consumed in the afternoon and evening. This information shocks many people because we've been conditioned to believe that a glass of warm milk before bed is relaxing and beneficial for sleep. The reality is completely opposite. Dairy products, especially cow's milk, cheese, and yogurt, are some of the biggest mucus producers in the food kingdom. When you consume these products, especially if you have some degree of undiagnosed sensitivity or intolerance, your body reacts by producing excessive amounts of mucus as a defense mechanism. This mucus builds up in your upper airways, throat, sinuses, and even bronchi, creating partial obstructions that become complete when you lie down and your muscles relax during sleep. Casein protein found in cow's milk is particularly problematic because it's extremely difficult for the human digestive system to digest. Our bodies simply weren't designed to efficiently process milk proteins from a different species, especially in adulthood, when we naturally stop producing adequate amounts of lactase. When casein isn't properly digested, it becomes a constant source of intestinal irritation, leading to the production of histamine and other inflammatory substances that circulate throughout your body, causing systemic inflammation that directly affects your respiratory tissues. It's as if you're constantly in a low-grade allergic state, but so subtle that you're not even consciously aware of it. Consider a person who had a habit of eating cheese for dinner and a glass of milk before bed, believing it would help her relax. She suffered from chronic nasal congestion, especially at night, and often woke up feeling suffocated. During the day, she felt as if something was always stuck in her throat, and she had to constantly clear her throat. Doctors suggested it might be allergies or sinusitis, but traditional treatments didn't completely resolve the problem. When she decided to eliminate all dairy from her diet for a 30-day trial, the results were astonishing. Within the first week, her nighttime congestion had drastically reduced. By the second week, she stopped waking up choking. By the end of the month, for the first time in years, she could breathe freely through her nose throughout the night. She described the sensation as being like someone had completely cleared her airways, like breathing fresh mountain air after years in a polluted city. The third and perhaps most devastating saboteur of your sleep is alcohol. This is a revelation that surprises many people because culturally we associate alcohol with relaxation and sleep induction. Millions of people around the world use a glass of wine or a shot of spirits as a bedtime ritual. unaware that they are literally destroying their sleep architecture and dangerously aggravating any tendency toward obstructive sleep apnea. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant, and while it may initially make you feel drowsy and relaxed, its true effects on your sleep are devastating and long-lasting. When you consume alcohol, especially in the 4 to 6 hours before bed, it directly interferes with multiple phases of your sleep cycle. First, alcohol drastically suppresses REM sleep, which is the most important phase for memory consolidation, emotional processing, and neurological restoration. Second, and most relevant to sleep apnea, alcohol excessively relaxes all the muscles in your body, including the muscles of your upper airway. These muscles, which normally keep your throat open during sleep, become too flaccid to perform their function, creating the partial or complete collapses of the airway that characterize obstructive sleep apnea. But the damage doesn't stop there. Alcohol also causes significant dehydration, which makes the tissues in your airways thicker and less flexible. Furthermore, the process of alcohol metabolism in your liver produces acetaldehyde, a toxin that causes systemic inflammation and directly affects the respiratory center in your brain, altering normal breathing patterns during sleep. It's as if you're voluntarily turning off the safety systems that keep your airways functioning properly at night. Consider a person who had a habit of having 2 glasses of wine with dinner and the occasional spirit before bed, believing it helped her relax after stressful days at work. She began to notice that although she fell asleep quickly, she would frequently wake up in the middle of the night with palpitations, sweating, and a terrible feeling of shortness of breath. In the morning, regardless of how many hours she had slept, she felt completely exhausted, as if she hadn't rested at all. Her partner began to complain that she snored loudly and that she sometimes seemed to stop breathing for long periods. When she made the difficult decision to completely eliminate alcohol from her nighttime routine, the first few days were challenging because she had developed a psychological dependence on this substance for relaxation. However, within the first week without alcohol, she began to notice that she was able to stay in deep sleep for longer. By the second week, the nighttime palpitations had completely disappeared. By the end of the first month, she reported that she had rediscovered what it meant to truly rest, waking up naturally refreshed with clear mental energy and physical vigor she hadn't felt in years. Now I need to pause and ask something fundamental. How many nights have you spent tossing and turning, feeling like no matter how hard you try, you can't find a comfortable position to breathe? How many times have you woken up in the middle of the night with the terrifying sensation of suffocation, as if someone were squeezing your throat, or perhaps you're one of those people who seemingly sleeps through the night, but wakes up more exhausted than when you went to bed, as if you've run a marathon in your sleep? If any of these situations resonate with you, I want you to understand that you're not alone, and more importantly, that this isn't normal or something you have to live with for the rest of your life. Behind every statistic about sleep apnea is a real person like you, struggling with chronic exhaustion, trying to function in a world that demands energy when your body is desperately deprived of oxygen and restorative rest. If anything I've shared so far resonates with you, please leave a comment telling me which of these 3 foods you regularly consume. It could be something as simple as, I eat sugary cereal every morning, or I always have wine with dinner, or I can't live without cheese. There's no judgment here, only understanding and support. Every comment you leave not only helps me create content more tailored to your real needs, but also shows others who are silently watching that they are not alone in their nighttime struggles. Someone may have been suffering with sleep problems for years, unaware that the solution may simply lie in changing some eating habits, and your comment could be exactly the insight they need to transform their life. Let's together break the silence around these issues and build a community where we can support each other on the path to truly restful nights. Beyond these 3 specific foods, it's crucial to understand how they interact with other aspects of sleep apnea to create a vicious cycle that perpetuates itself indefinitely. Obstructive sleep apnea isn't just an isolated breathing problem at night. It's a systemic condition that affects every cell in your body and every aspect of your life. When your airways repeatedly close during sleep, your brain goes into a state of constant alert, releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that should be at minimum levels during the night. This chronic state of stress not only prevents you from entering the deep stages of sleep, but also creates a hormonal environment that intensifies your cravings for precisely the types of foods that worsen the condition. When you're chronically deprived of restful sleep, your body increases production of ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and decreases production of leptin, the satiety hormone. This creates intense, nearly irresistible cravings for foods high in sugar, refined carbohydrates, and saturated fats, the very ultra-processed foods I mentioned earlier. It's a perfect and devastating cycle. Sleep apnea causes sleep deprivation, which causes cravings for inflammatory foods, which worsens sleep apnea, which causes more sleep deprivation, and so on. Breaking this cycle requires not only awareness, but also practical, sustainable strategies. The good news is that your body has an impressive capacity for healing and regeneration when you remove the obstacles that are hindering its natural repair processes. When you eliminate these three types of sabotaging foods, you're not only removing harmful substances, you're also allowing your natural anti-inflammatory systems to function properly, your airway tissues to return to normal size, and your sleep hormones to naturally rebalance. Imagine a person who integrated all this information and decided to completely transform their nighttime diet. Instead of sugary cereals, they started eating whole oats with fresh fruit. They replaced dairy with plant-based alternatives like almond or oat milk. They swapped their nighttime wine for calming caffeine-free teas like chamomile or lemon balm. The first few days were challenging because their body was accustomed to the sugar spikes and addictive substances found in processed foods. But in less than a week, they began to notice subtle but significant changes. Their nighttime digestion became more relaxed. They stopped waking up with acid reflux. Their nasal congestion dramatically decreased, and for the first time in years, they began to have vivid restorative dreams, a sign that they were finally entering the deep REM sleep they had long lost. It's crucial to understand that untreated sleep apnea isn't just an inconvenience or something that affects only your sleep. The consequences extend to every system in your body in ways you may never have connected with your nighttime problems. Your cardiovascular system is constantly under stress due to repeated episodes of oxygen deprivation, significantly increasing your risk of hypertension, cardiac arrhythmias, heart attacks, and strokes. Your endocrine system becomes completely dysregulated, leading to insulin resistance, unexplained weight gain, especially in the abdominal region, and eventually the development of type 2 diabetes. Your immune system, which should be strengthened during deep sleep, remains weakened and hyperactive at the same time, leaving you vulnerable to recurrent infections, heightened allergies, and chronic inflammatory processes that accelerate the aging of all your organs. Your brain, deprived of necessary oxygen and the deep sleep phases, where neurological toxins are cleared, begins to show signs of premature cognitive decline, memory problems, difficulty concentrating, and even personality changes such as irritability, anxiety, and depression, which can be mistakenly attributed to the stress of modern life. Eliminating these three sabotaging foods should be seen not as a temporary restriction, but as an investment in your longevity and quality of life. When you eliminate ultra-processed foods, you're eliminating substances your body recognizes as toxins, and that divert precious energy from nighttime repair processes to neutralize these threats. When you eliminate dairy, you're allowing your airways to function without the constant irritation and mucus production that keeps your airways partially obstructed. When you eliminate alcohol from your nighttime routine, you're restoring your airway muscles' natural ability to keep the passage open during sleep, as well as allowing your brain to enter the natural cycles of deep and REM sleep that are essential for your mental and physical health. If you're finding this information helpful and feel like you're finally beginning to understand the connection between your diet and your sleep issues, please comment below. Your engagement not only shows me I'm on the right track with this content, but it also helps the algorithm surface this vital information to more people who may be silently suffering from the same issues you face every night. In addition to eliminating these sabotaging foods, there are positive dietary strategies that can further enhance your healthy sleep recovery. Magnesium-rich foods like avocados, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and dark leafy greens help naturally relax muscles and promote deeper sleep. Foods with natural tryptophan like turkey, organic eggs, and sunflower seeds provide the necessary precursors for the natural production of serotonin and melatonin. Herbal teas like valerian, passion flower, and lemon balm have natural calming properties that prepare your nervous system for rest without the side effects of pharmacological sedatives. The timing of your meals is as important as what you eat. Eating your last meal at least 3 hours before bed allows your digestive system to complete its heaviest work before you lie down, preventing digestive processes from interfering with your sleep quality. Staying adequately hydrated during the day, but reducing fluid intake 2 hours before bed minimizes nighttime bathroom interruptions that disrupt your sleep cycles. To recap everything we've discovered today, the 3 silent saboteurs of your sleep that may be causing or worsening your obstructive sleep apnea are ultra-processed foods rich in refined sugars and chemical additives, dairy products especially, when consumed in the afternoon and evening, and alcohol in any quantity in the hours before sleep. Each of these types of foods creates specific problems that combine to turn your airways into obstacles to healthy breathing at night. Eliminating these foods isn't just about improving your sleep, it's about restoring your overall health, vital energy, mental clarity, and quality of life. When you sleep properly, your body has the opportunity to carry out all the repair and regeneration processes that are impossible when you're constantly stressed due to lack of oxygen. Your immune system strengthens your hormones, balance your metabolism, optimizes your skin, regenerates your muscles, recover, and your brain processes and consolidates the day's experiences, preparing you to face new challenges with energy and clarity. If you've made it to the end of this video, it demonstrates your genuine commitment to your health and well-being, and I want you to know that this attitude is already the first fundamental step toward your transformation. The information I've shared today is based on decades of scientific research and the real-life experience of thousands of people who have successfully overcome their sleep problems through strategic and sustainable dietary changes. If this content was helpful to you, please like the video, share it with people who might benefit from it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment telling me what your biggest discovery was today, which of these foods you didn't know could be harming your sleep, or what change you're most motivated to implement from now on. Your comments not only inspire me to continue creating content that truly makes a difference in people's lives, but also create a support network where we can all learn from each other and share our victories and challenges on this journey to truly restful sleep. Soon, I'll be bringing you more content on advanced techniques to optimize your sleep environment, specific exercises to strengthen your airway muscles, and strategies to stay motivated while transforming your nighttime habits. Remember, you deserve restful nights. You deserve to wake up refreshed, and you have the power to transform your health starting today.